Do you remember Cactus Flower, starring Goldie Hawn, Ingrid Bergman, and of course Walter Matthau, who has somehow managed to look 87 years old since his mid-20s? The original release was in 1969 and somehow boasts an amazing 85% score on Rotten Tomatoes, so I guess someone's actually enjoying this thing. This movie is a genuine cinematic roller coaster in the truest form. The long and the short of it, a dentist named Julian Winston tells his girlfriend Toni that he's married. He tells her this lie so he has a reason not to spend as much time with her as you would a steady gal in the usual situation. Basically only calling on her when he needs a checkup, if you catch my drift. That's a dentist joke. Welcome to the Rabbit Ears Rewind. I'm here to analyze, review, and deep dive all the TV and movies you loved as a kid in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and sometimes the 80s. Do me a favor, like this video, hit the thumbs up, and please subscribe, follow, and of course share like it's your job. Share, people. Now let's get back to Julian and Toni in this train wreck. But alas, he catches feelings, falls in love, and proposes. Obviously, his girlfriend, Miss Toni Simmons, portrayed by the legendary Goldie Hawn, who is only 24 at the time of this movie, wants to know what will become of his wife and 3 kids. His answer? We're getting a divorce, and it's mutual. Doc Winston, who really isn't married, has to come up with something, and he has to come up with it fast. So he begs his nurse/secretary to pretend to be his wife, meet Toni, and declare that she too wants a divorce and it is mutual. Oh, and did I mention that his secretary, Miss Dickinson, is portrayed by none other than the legendary actress Ingrid Bergman, and worth noting, she's 54 at the time of this film's release, closer to Walter's age. And you guessed it, calamity ensues. Various wild encounters occur because of this. Lies are told and we find out what kind of person all the characters are at heart, especially Dr. Julian Winston. And this whole time, Toni's neighbor is watching and listening. He's a good sport, but you can tell, obviously, that he has a crush on Toni. And that, spoiler alert, they're probably going to end up together in the end, since his character isn't 103 years old like Julian's. The actor portraying Igor is Ricky Linez, who was only 30 at the time of this release. With that being said, at one point, Igor and Miss Dickinson, the nurse secretary, were dancing and locking lips, so in this movie, age is just a number, I guess. Taking a step back and shifting gears for a second, this movie is a comedy for the most part, but I'd be remiss if I didn't label it a dark romantic comedy. The damn opening scene is Toni attempting to end it all by leaving her gas on in her apartment, all because Doc Winston canceled their date night. Thankfully, our man Igor smelled the gas, bust out a window, and revived her, and they ended up making out in some weird, creepy scene, but whatever. But dang, y'all, I was not ready for this movie to start this way, like a punch in the mouth right out of the gate. And that's not even the darkest part. The evilness and manipulative ways of Julian is enough to add a near horror element to the entire thing. He lies to everyone. He gaslights everyone. He isn't above manipulating any character, including his friends, his girlfriend, his supposed wife, or whatever. He goes as far as to besmirch his own wife's name by painting her as a wild nymphomaniac that gets around town, and that is a heavy topic for a 1960s rom-com. And of course, Toni buys every single bit of it, hook, line, and sinker, as the kids say. Goldie's character has a heart of gold, but she is dumb as hell and a little crazy. Even Igor calls her a kook, but a nice kook. She would not go forward in this relationship unless Julian's wife approved and confirmed that the divorce was mutual, which was mentioned before, and it caused this giant lie snowball. She even cries when she sees her with the 3 kids, but they end up being just Miss Dickinson's nephews. This isn't even all of it, y'all. You just have to watch it. It's a trip, and I'm sure I've left something out by now, and it's a trip. You got to watch this movie if you haven't seen it. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here are my final thoughts on Cactus Flower. Not only is this a pure train wreck of a movie, it features one of the cringiest dance scenes that exists at the discotheque they're always going to in the movie with Walter Matthau, and it does not help his case for looking 300 years old for his entire life. And who could forget the band at the very discotheque that played the same jazz version of I'm a Believer over and over like the Cantina Band in Mos Eisley. With all that in mind, this movie somehow still maintains an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe it kept the chaos of its love triangle and lie-filled story just between the ditches enough to satisfy the critics. Perhaps it's because everyone ends up with who they're really supposed to be with in the end. Igor and Toni end up together, which, if you have any knowledge of cinema and movie and predictability, pattern recognition, you knew this was going to happen anyway. But also in an odd twist, Dr. Julian and Miss Dickinson end up together. And honestly, that's weird that it happened because honestly, I thought she hated him. She even goes as far as to quit her job. But I guess all's well that ends well. What did you think of Cactus Flower? Do you even remember it? I'd never heard of it until I started looking it up. What did I miss? What did I leave out? What did I get wrong? There's always something. And if you like classic TV, Hollywood, hit that follow, subscribe, and share. It'd be a great honor if you'd share this with everyone you know and ever met till the end of time. Just kidding. This has been Ravager's Rewind. See you later, everybody. Peace.